Hey, WWE YouTube fans, hope all you guys are having a lovely week so far. A great Wednesday and Hoot Day as well, guys. I don't really want to keep this episode a long one, so I will try my absolute best to make this episode short, simple, and sweet. But before we get into this episode, make sure if you enjoy it, you hit that thumbs up and subscribe down below if you have not done so already. All right, so here we go. All right, guys, so basically what I was going to talk about mainly in this episode is how rude and disrespectful WWE fans can be. Now, yes, before I get there, I am a WWE fan, but I've been reading a lot of what WWE superstars said over WrestleMania weekend, and it's got me thinking. They've said what they've needed to say, but it needs to be said again, maybe. Maybe that's the best way of putting it, okay? So, here's what I am going to do, all right? First and foremost, I think that some WWE fans are one of the most passionate fans in all of sports out there. But, guys, it's what Drew McIntyre said over WrestleMania weekend that really caught my attention. Okay. Drew McIntyre said that he was... It's hard for me to even talk about this because Drew McIntyre is right. Drew McIntyre over WrestleMania weekend was going back to his hotel in Vegas, and this is at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, don't ask me why he was up getting ready to just arrive at his hotel at 2 o'clock in the morning, because I do not know the answer to that. But he was going back to his hotel at 2 o'clock in the morning. And he ended up getting ambushed by WWE fans. Some of the WWE fans were throwing their own children in front. Throwing cameras in his face without his consent. And Drew was not alone. He was with his family too, his wife and family, and they even had to deal with that. And so Drew McIntyre, he did something that he does a lot, okay? He went out on X or Twitter, and he really said it's a good thing outside the ring. I am a very chill and calm human being. Because he's like, if I was not that person outside the ring, I would have gone physical on WWE fans. And he boasted that on his Instagram and on his X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And I do disagree with what Drew McIntyre said on the threatening part, but I 100% support and understand what he said as well, because I feel like that happens a lot. It happens, in a matter of fact, way too much, okay? I don't know if I say this a lot, but at the end of the day, the WWE staff, superstars, whatever, they are human beings just like us. They have the right, the absolute right, to have their private life just like us. And I don't understand why some people cannot get that in their own head. Okay, and I am trying to be polite as I can, but at the same time, I'm trying to be as real as I can. All right? No, I love WWE fans. I love talking to them. I don't understand why they don't get that rushing up to a WWE superstar invading their very own private life. I don't get it. I don't fully understand how, like, you don't understand that. Like, they are trying to live their private life, and you're the one invading it. All right. Not only is it bad for them, it's bad for their very own family as well. And so, I'm not calling WWE fans creeps. I'm not. But I am saying that even though you run in to a WWE fan, you ask, but if they say no, then you 1,000,000,000% respect that. All right? Because I'm just going to say this, all right? Drew McIntyre, man, he's absolutely right with what he said. And I don't understand. I try to think, I get the kids. Now the kids are different, but I'm talking about the adults here. All right, you wouldn't want someone doing it to you. Then why are you doing it to them? That's my question. Okay. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be a jackass or an idiot, but I'm just saying, let's get real for a minute, okay? Why? Why are you invading their life, yet alone you're making it difficult for their very own family? All right? I don't understand why. Maybe someone out there can explain it to me, because I'm that dumb and I'm that stupid to understand it, but why? Why are you going to invade their life with their family? It doesn't make any sense at all, so maybe I'm the idiot here, but I don't know. And I would love someone, if I'm the idiot here, I would love someone to let me know that. So, oh, hey guys, look, it's Mr. Danhausen, one of my favorite YouTubers. But anyway, have we decided what show Danhausen is on? Is he on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown? You know what? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. He would be, you know what? Maybe he should be on SmackDown. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why, okay? He's been driving the awesome the Miz, Crazy, and then Kit Wilson. But yeah, Monday Night Raw feels like also a great place for him. Where should Danhausen go, Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown? I would love to know down below in the comment section, where should this guy end up? What show should he be on? Yeah, let me know. Let me know. But, all right, guys. So, Danhausen, all right, this past Monday on Raw made some demands again. All right. Number one, he claims that the greatest of all time, John Cena, has passed the torch down to him. Now, whether you believe that or not, Danhausen has some demands. As a matter of fact, 3 new demands. And I want you guys to listen to it, because I want to know what you guys think of these, demands. So, here we go. Number one, he wants the Danhausen animated series. Okay. He wants Danhausen cereal. That's, you know what? He wants Danhausen cereal because of Fruity Pebbles and Bootios. It's got to be because of those two reasons. And then he wants his face to be on the trucks. Those are his three demands. Let me know what one out of those three are the most craziest, okay? Now, I could see Danhausen animated series getting made. I could definitely see Danhausen cereal being sold out every store you go to. But what would you name it? You know? Well, you know what you just name it? Name it Danhausen cereal. What would you name it? And then his face on the trucks. And I've got to be honest with you. The first two I can see happening a whole lot more. But let's get honest. Danhausen is undefeated in the WWE. 1-0. He is undefeated at WrestleMania because, well, even though he never had a match. But you know what? Just 3 days before WrestleMania, Danhausen wanted his very own blimp, and bippity boppity boo, he got his own blimp. So it sounds like what Danhausen wants in WWE, Danhausen gets in WWE. You know, but I got to be honest with you. I love this dude. He is so silly. He makes my day when I'm having a rough day. And I am a big fan of his YouTube channel. I mean, my mom isn't. My mom, you know, thinks he looks kind of creepy with all that makeup on and all that. You know, he does remind me of a evil side of the Joker when I was a kid watching, you know, Batman and all that. But at the same time, I love the guy to death. And, you know, he's very nice, but he's also very evil. So, but I want to know what you think of his three demands. Okay? And let's make this one interesting. Out of his three demands, what one of them would you not do? Okay, so you got the face on the side of the truck. Then you got the Danhausen cereal. Although if you approve the Danhausen cereal, what would you name it? Would you just name it Danhausen cereal? What would you name it? All right. And then you got the Danhausen animated series. All right, those are his three. What one? Let's reset the question. Out of his three demands, how many of them are you willing to do? How many of them are you willing not to do? That's a pretty unique, interesting question, I think. You know, I mean, he is Danhausen. Very nice, very evil. So, but yeah, I would like to know, out of those three, you know, hey, a lot of people are actually big fans of Danhausen. So you also got to put that into perspective as well, you know. But yeah, very nice, but very evil.